sure technology provides a platform for improving service delivery in the country.
President Buhari unveils revised digital blueprint for security, launches another to combat corruption and boost economic development. Minister of Finance dismisses speculations on salary cut, says government seeks to pursue harmonization of wages among federal agencies. Plus, federal government reaffirms commitments to complete ongoing rehabilitation of Port Harcourt refinery. Good evening. This is NTA Network News. I'm Cyril Stober in Abuja, and Michael Olale joins me from Lagos, while Chineye Nwoye is in Enugu. President Muhammadu Buhari has unveiled two national policies formulated by the Ministry of Communications and Digital Economy in furtherance of his administration's efforts at effectively securing the country, enhancing economic development, and fighting corruption. They are the National Policy for the Promotion of Indigenous Content in Nigeria's Telecommunications Sector, as well as the revised National Identity Policy for SIM card registration. State House correspondent Adam Sambu has the details.
The National Policy for the Promotion of Indigenous Content in the ICT sector is aimed at ensuring that Nigerians become active participants in various sectors of the economy. This, President Buhari said, is in line with the mandate given to the Ministry of Communications and Digital Economy to collaborate more effectively with the private sector towards creating a large number of well-paying jobs for Nigerians in furtherance of efforts at lifting 100 million out of poverty in 10 years.
As a country, our desire to produce what we eat and consume what we produce is not limited to the literal meaning. Rather, we want to work towards being self-sufficient in every sector of the economy. For the telecom sector, we want Nigerians to play a major role in the design and manufacture of devices, in meeting the manpower requirements, and in becoming an active part of the telecommunication ecosystem of the country.
The revised National Digital Identity Policy for SIM card registration, on the other hand, will support government's genuine efforts at enhancing national security and stability for sustainable economic development. The president, who described NIN as the foundational digital ID for the country, said attempts made in the past to promote its usage were futile due to a number of reasons, including sabotage.
We are fully committed to the safety of Nigerians, and linking the SIM to national identification number will significantly enhance security. This is an incredible achievement. I'm very, very pleased with that. We'll be able to identify people, including the crooks. Yeah. Our goal is to make sure technology provides a platform for improving service delivery in the country and does not become a tool for fighting crimes.
Consequently, the Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, Dr. Isa Ali Ibrahim Pantami, has again been directed by the President to ensure that no SIM card is allowed to access Nigeria's telecommunications network unless attached to the national identification number. He also directed the minister to coordinate the implementation of both national policies and urge all stakeholders to ensure compliance. The minister, Dr. Isa Ali Pantami, had earlier told participants that the two national policies, which he described as robust, are products of effective collaboration and cooperation with critical stakeholders from both private and public sectors, including security agencies.
Some of the initiatives we have introduced recently are being copied by other African countries, and they are always making reference to our modest innovation and also trying to emulate what we have been doing. When it comes to national identification number, within 6 months we were able to achieve over 12 million citizens who have enrolled in the database. Part of our effort of promoting indigenous content in ICT sector, we were able to establish a world-class SIM card manufacturing company in Nigeria, which has the capacity to be producing a minimum of 200 million SIMs annually.
During the event, Dr. Isa Ali Pantami was applauded by the president for what he called the landmark achievements of the digital economic sector, including championing the growth and development of the local content initiative. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
Now on to security matters now. Excited and still somewhat anxious, parents of the recently released students of Federal College of Forestry Mechanization, Afaka Kaduna, have continued to throng the college in anticipation of a planned reunion with the returnees. The released students, the last batch released by their abductors on Wednesday, have been undergoing medical checks. Achari Maxwell tells us more.
They came in their numbers and visibly excited. Their shock and trauma since the abduction of the students for about 2 months now, they say, is better imagined.
I feel so happy, so excited, and I thank God for everything.
The students are still receiving medical attention at a police facility. Commissioner of Police Kaduna State, Umar Muri, visited the students and confirmed they are stable.
You know, we have 20 females and 7 males. And I can tell you without mincing words that most of them are stable, but the doctors are still working on them. We are waiting for the doctor's evaluation on them. When that is done, then we'll get back to you and let you know how far we can go or how far we are doing.
The students have been in the facility since they are released by their abductors on Wednesday. In Kaduna, Achari Maxwell, NTA News.
In the meantime, the All Progressives Congress has expressed joy over the release of the students abducted from the Federal College of Forestry Mechanization, Afaka, in Kaduna State. John James Akwanudo Edehe, National Secretary, Caretaker and Extraordinary Convention Planning Committee of the APC, in a statement, said it is heartwarming that the students are being reunited with their family, friends and other loved ones. The APC commended all stakeholders involved in their release and reiterated continued support for ongoing efforts by the Buhari administration towards a quick and permanent solution to security challenges. And the Federal Capital Territory Administration Education Secretariat has reiterated the safety of students in various schools in the territory. The Acting Secretary Education Secretariat gave the assurance during a media conference in Abuja. Ifai Izumba reports.
Acting Secretary, Education Secretariat, Leramo Abdurazak, who noted that the insecurity challenges being experienced across the country have been of utmost concern to the FCT administration, says all efforts and strategies are in top gear to safeguard the territory, adding that the FCT schools, which resumed its third-term academic session last month, have been running smoothly.
All the security outfits in Abuja are been taking measures to ensure that not only our schools, even Abuja, remain safe.
Director, Security Services FCTA, Adamu Gwari, affirmed that they have strengthened security personnel and surveillance with strict adherence to security tips to ensure conducive learning environment. FCT administration, however, calls on parents, guardians and stakeholders not to relent in complementing government's efforts and sustain the various safety measures the administration has always put in place, maintaining that security is everybody's business. In Abuja, Ifani Isumba, NTA News.
The Senate has met with service chiefs and heads of security agencies where it received strategic information on Nigeria's current security situation, its challenges and prospects. Before the closed-door meeting began, President of the Senate, Ahmed Lawan, had acknowledged the role of security operatives in the ongoing fight against insecurity, which he said is affected by inadequate resources. National Assembly correspondent Ignatius Unko reports.
The Senate had restricted its plenary to only Tuesdays and Wednesdays as part of its COVID-19 precautions. but the need for an urgent and constructive dialogue involving the legislators and heads of security agencies on Nigeria's security situation brought about the adjustment in timetable. Shortly after it reconvened for the special session, Leader of the Senate, Yahaya Abdullahi, moved the motion to usher in their guests. The Chief of Defense Staff, Service Chiefs, Directors General of the Department of State Service, National Intelligence Agency, Defense Intelligence Agency, and Inspector General of Police. The session dissolved into a closed door, with senators optimistic of a silver lining at the end of the engagement.
Because we know that you are doing your best with what you have at hand. But I want to assure you and everyone that the challenges we face are taken extremely seriously by the Parliament. Hardly a day passes without this Senate discussing one security incident or the other.
4 hours later, the executive session ends and President of the Senate, Ahmed Lawan, listed the areas discussed during the meeting.
On their plans of containing the present insecurity situation in the country. Thereafter, they answered questions from distinguished senators bordering on security, insurgency, terrorism, kidnapping, and other topical national security matters.
Senate has adjourned to Tuesday, the 18th of May, 2021 for Salah break. From the National Assembly, Ignatius Nkwo, NTA News.
And the House of Representatives has again stressed the need to address violence against security personnel, the latest of which is Thursday morning's attack on a police station in Obasi town in Idemili, Anambra State, during which 2 police officers were killed. National Assembly correspondent Lami Ali reports.
Raising the issue as plenary on the matters of urgent public importance, Representative Obinna Chidoka says the hoodlums who carried out the attack on the police station also carted away arms and ammunition from its armory. The House commiserated with the family of the deceased policemen and urged the federal government to, in line with an earlier resolution of the House of Representatives, declare a state of emergency on security nationwide.
Address this menace of brigandage, threatening lives, properties, and peace in our communities and country as a whole.
Following a motion from Representative Anieke Numana, the House resolved to investigate how the 2 billion naira Safe School Intervention Fund was utilized. 23 bills passed first reading, while 6 passed second reading, including a bill seeking to make mandatory entrepreneurship education in academic institutions, sponsored by Representative Uime Idem, a bill to establish Environmental Trust Fund from Suleiman Gumi, and a bill to establish Federal College of Nursing and Midwifery in Delta State, sponsored by Ejirogene Waive. In the course of plenary, House Speaker Femi Gbajabiamila advised lawmakers to avoid making comments which expressly or impliedly are capable of causing misunderstanding, following a reference to statements credited to the House Minority Leader Ndudi Ilumelu.
Even though you have the freedom of expression, you have to be reasonable enough as a leader to measure your words and what you say publicly.
The House, before adjourning to 18th of May for Salah break, extended condolences to the family of the author of Nigeria's national pledge, Professor Felicia Adebola, who died last week. From the National Assembly, Lami Ali, NTA News.
And time to take some messages. We'll be right back.
I need help! So please go to the market. You don't have to buy Tashi. You won't even let my mother come and stay. I need help. You don't know how stressful it is taking care of these 3 kids. Are you still there? If you're not getting me fresh meat, do you understand?
Okay, I'm at the meat.
Can you switch to video call, please? Okay, give me that one. The one by your side. Okay, fine. Babe, please.
Where do
I buy all these things now? Hey, go get Glow Berekete and call madam.
The heavyweight voice and data plan. Get 600 naira free credit plus 700% bonus on every recharge and up to 100% bonus on data plans.
The Federal Ministry of Transportation, in collaboration with the Nigerian Shippers Council, NSC, announced the official commissioning of NSC North Central Zonal Coordinating Office Complex, Jos Plateau State, by the Honorable Minister of Transportation, Right Honorable Chibike Rotimi Amechi, CON. Special guest of honor, His Excellency the Executive Governor of Plateau State, Barrister Dr. Simon Bako Lalong, venue, opposite Federal Government College, Zaria Road, Jos Plateau State. Date, 7th May 2021. Time, 9 a.m. For inquiries, please call Ifi Okolwe 0033396927. Announcer, the Nigerian Shippers Council.
Here today, gone tomorrow. 'Cause you're volatile like the water. And you promise what you don't know. Sometimes it's right and then it's so wrong. Them go do like say them why. We promise you the world. My brother all now worship. Upon all of the open eye, I see no feel water. Like you the letter.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
Hello, madam. Would you like to join us on this mission?
Yes, but how?
Just one question for you. How do you keep your toilet clean?
I use regular detergent and bleach for washing and removing yellow stains. I have been using it for years.
Oh, madam, the regular detergents and bleach are used for washing clothes. To disinfect your toilet properly, you need Harpic 10X. It is specially made for germs and stains remover. Harpic sticker formula settles on stains and gives 10 times better cleaning compared to regular detergent and bleach.
Wow! Now I'm convinced, Helen Paul.
Really?
Yeah.
Now that she's part of the mission, the next house is yours.
At the first sign of pain, you need a solution that you can trust to provide effective relief and is gentle on the stomach. Try Panadol Caplets for relief from headaches, body aches, and fever. With Panadol's Optizorb formula, the tablet gently breaks down in the stomach, quickly absorbs, and starts providing pain relief in 15 minutes. For fast and effective pain relief that you can trust, try Panadol Caplets. This has been Medifact for Panadol.
Sheffield United only have their pride to play for when Crystal Palace visit this Saturday. On the Premier League Live is Sheffield United versus Crystal Palace, showing on the network service of the NTA from 2:30 p.m. The Premier League Live is brought to you by Baba Ijebu in association with Gold.com.
Thanks for staying with us. The Minister of Niger Delta Affairs, Senator Godswill Akpabio, has disclosed that arrangements have been put in place for the inauguration of the Special Operations Unit of the Nigeria Police Force headquarters in Port Harcourt, Rivers State, as part of measures to support the security infrastructure, sustain peace and socio-economic development within the region. A statement by the ministry's Director of Press disclosed that the minister made the statement when he received the National Secretary of the Interim Caretaker Committee of the APC, Senator James Akpanu-Doedehe, in Abuja. Senator Akpabio, who expressed his belief in party supremacy, says all political office stakeholders must do everything to support the party, both at the national and state level. The Interim National Secretary of the APC expressed gratitude to the minister, adding that insecurity is a serious matter and that no responsible government can choose to ignore the current realities and tackle them headlong. And the Nigeria Police Trust Fund and the Africa Global Empowerment Development Network have met and resolved to rehabilitate training institutions of the Nigeria Police Force across the country. This is to enhance capacity building for the police. Francis Fom reports.
It is no longer news that the Nigeria police training institutions are in their need of attention. As a response to this need, the federal government set up the Nigeria Police Trust Fund to meet the funding challenges of the force. In achieving this mandate, the Nigeria Police Trust Fund visited the Africa Global Empowerment and Development Network to seek collaboration.
The collaboration between the two agencies will no doubt help in successful implementation of projects and the programs for Nigeria Police Force.
President of the network reiterates his commitment to assisting the police to reconstruct its training institutions with a view to enhancing the capacity of the personnel.
I travel with my team across the world. We see how the training institution has been established. We come up with this policy to transform and reconstruct all the training school into modern standard of the world.
Executive Secretary of the Nigeria Police Trust Fund believes the collaboration will change the narrative and the force and bring about better performance. Francis from NTA News.
And Nigeria's Vice President Yemi Osinbajo is optimistic that the country will surmount existing challenges and emerge stronger, especially with people of goodwill working together in the interest of the country. Vice President Osinbajo made this known when he received members of a Southwest think tank led by former Ogun State Governor Otumba Gbenga Daniel. State House correspondent Jide Onifade reports.
Speaking on the efforts of the administration to address some of the challenges confronting Nigerians, Vice President Yemi Osinbajo noted that the best way out is to have a massive plan for investment, to create opportunities for jobs, which the government is hoping to achieve with the Economic Sustainability Plan. The Vice President reiterated that the welfare of the people and the progress of the country has always been and will remain the priority of the All Progressives Congress and that of the administration. Leader of the delegation and former governor of Ogun State, Gbenga Daniel, says the visit is to identify with and support the cause of the Vice President, whom he describes as intelligent, hardworking, articulate, and a very proud son of the Southwest region in the task of nation building.
Because it's only when we have a country that we can begin to talk of Party A and Party B. So the first challenge we have now is of all of us to join hands together to ensure that we have a country.
The former governor, who is now an APC member, was accompanied on the council visit by some other new entrants into the party. In the State House, Jide Onifade, NTA News.
And in what is considered an indication of in-depth understanding of governance and purposeful partnership with the federal government, the Delta State government has built and handed over a Federal Road Safety Corps Marshal Inspectorate Training School to the federal government. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo at the event says effective collaboration between the federal government through its agencies and state governments will bring about more dividends and improved service delivery to Nigerians. Here again is Jide Onifade with that report.
Well, it is the inauguration and formal handover of the Federal Road Safety Corps Marshal Inspectorate Training School here at Owalero in Delta State to the federal government. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo is here to formally receive and inaugurate the training school. The school sits on an expanse of approximately 20 hectares of land in a serene environment along Owalero Owa Oyebu Road in Ika, Northeast local government area of Delta State. Its scope consists of an administrative building, a 500-seat auditorium with modern facilities, a lecture hall, information communication technology center, library, residencies for officers, hostels, clinic, powerhouse, sewage treatment, and waterworks.
The federal government will continue to support organizations that demonstrate commitment to their statutory duties, such as the FRC. Let me again appreciate the government and people of Delta State for the huge financial resources dedicated to this project. It is certainly an investment with long-term returns to the immediate community, the state, and the country in general.
The state government considers it a great privilege for the state to serve as host and sponsor of the institution, regarded as central to the continuous improvement of the road transport system.
Is this a thing of joy for us as an administration that we're able to leverage a good relationship with the federal government to attract this project to the doorstep of our people, the first of its kind in the South-Side geopolitical region?
Elected Corps Marshal Boboyo Yeyemi says it has been the goal of the Federal Road Safety Corps to have well-established training institutions for its various cadres of personnel, by which to pursue their capacity development on a continuous and sustainable basis.
Proves that in the spirit of intergovernmental relations between federal and states, a lot can be achieved depending on the leadership.
Well, the project is regarded as a welcome development, as a well-trained road safety marshal will impact positively on the safety of all road users in the state and across the country. Jide Onifade, NTA.
A national policy on inclusive volunteerism has been unveiled by the federal government. The policy seeks to promote the culture of volunteerism towards sustainable national development. Mtayari Ikpen reports.
Volunteers give their time and skills freely for a task they are passionate about, such as community service. The activities go a long way in complementing government's developmental efforts. However, the culture of volunteerism is believed to be declining in Nigeria.
People are not aware of the benefits of volunteerism. People believe that it's just for them to come out and do something. Of course, it's something that you do willingly, not with financial gain. But at the end, a lot of gain can come from volunteerism.
This national policy, approved by the Federal Executive Council, is part of government strategies towards reviving the culture of volunteerism in Nigeria. It provides strategic guidelines for facilitators in government and the private sector to encourage and promote volunteerism across the country.
Nigerian government has recognized volunteerism as a potential force, and on the part of the Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, I wish to assure you that we will give all the necessary and required support for each MDA to make sure this policy works.
A sensitization workshop is ongoing for focal persons in ministries, departments, and agencies of government who are expected to drive the implementation of the national policy. In Abuja, Mitaire Ikben, NTA News.
The federal government is refuting claims by the Nigeria Labour Congress that it is working to reduce the high cost of governance by trimming the salaries of Nigerian workers. The federal government says it is rather seeking more of pay parity to enable workers earn more. Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Mrs. Zainab Ahmed, said this at the National Policy Dialogue on Corruption and Cost of Governance in Nigeria, organized by the Independent Corrupt Practices Commission, ICPC.
In a statement, the Minister of Finance said the President had directed the Salaries Committee to review payroll and also review the number of agencies. She said what government hopes to achieve is to redistribute wages equally across board and bring the salary structure within government agencies as close or as equitable and fair. And to reduce costs, the government, she said, had approved a 13.88 trillion naira budget with a deficit of over 5.6 trillion naira and projected a revenue of 7.98 trillion naira to fund part of the 2021 budget. She said President Muhammadu Buhari has directed that the Salaries Committee work together with the head of service and other members of the committee to review the government's payrolls in considering stepping down on costs. The chairman of ICPC had, during the stakeholders meeting, described the cost of governance as the driver of corruption in Nigeria. The ICPC boss also said Government's commitment to streamline payroll, remove subsidies and reduction of the cost of contracts and procurement are all for the benefits of the poor and vulnerable.
Deliberations on peaceful coexistence and sustainable development of the country have continued to dominate public discourse, with calls from public-spirited individuals and organizations for a more stable and progressive nation. Abubakar Usman Akwanga reports that the latest to take its campaign to the National Front is a non-political group that identifies itself as I Stand with Buhari.
The spate of incessant tension disrupting public peace and breeding violent attacks on Nigerians and security infrastructure in parts of the country is the purpose for convening this session.
It is very unfortunate, especially with the new spate of attacks on our armed forces, especially in the eastern part of the country, who shows how wicked and desperate these sponsors are. The burning of police stations, public buildings, vehicles, and bombing of buildings belonging to political office holders. How do they believe they can win this stupidity?
The group urged Nigerians to remain committed and have faith in the determination of the federal government and national security forces to return the country to the path of peace and national development.
It is rather sad and disheartening that these individuals and pressure groups do not mind sponsoring the death of thousands of their fellow citizens.
The organization commended the efforts of the federal government in the pursuit of lasting peace in the northeast, the southeast, as well as addressing other internal security challenges bedeviling the country. In Abuja, Abubakar Usman Akwanga, NTA News.
Up next, we'll link up with Lagos Network Center. Michael Olale is our guide. Michael?
Thank you, Cyril. Lagos State government says several proactive measures have been put in place, especially at entry points, to curb a possible third wave of COVID-19 pandemic. Commissioner for Health, Professor Akin Abayomi, broke the news at a ministerial briefing to mark the second-year anniversary of Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu in office. Musa Toliat reports.
Measures put in place in readiness for a possible third wave of COVID-19 pandemic are captured in 5 pillars. These include ramping up PCR test capacity with additional mutant PCR tests introduced, the deployment of Eco-Telemed, a medical technology to monitor inbound travelers, non-pharmaceutical interventions, vaccination, and other treatment options.
We're ramping up our oxygen strategy to make sure that we are not caught flat-footed, and that if we do go into a third wave and there's a high demand for oxygen, that we can meet that demand. We're now deploying Eco-Telemed to monitor inbound travelers to make sure that they are isolating according to the guidelines and that they come for their day 7 test.
With more than 250,000 already vaccinated across the metropolis, Commissioner for Health, Professor Akin Abayomi, who is also the state's Deputy Incident Commander, says those who have not been vaccinated will be encouraged to do so before the commencement of second round of vaccination in few weeks. Professor Abayomi stressed that the COVID-19 experience gathered is helping the state's medical team to effectively respond to other health challenges, including drug-resistant tuberculosis and HIV and AIDS across the metropolis. In Lagos, Musa Toliat, NTA News.
Fans and players of topmost betting company OneXBet are in for a great time following the unveiling of highly rated Nigerian music artist Davido and as its brand ambassador. Samuel Johnson was at the media briefing in Lagos where the artist signed the deal.
Founded in 2007, OneXBet is one of the leading and trusted online betting and game sites in Nigeria and beyond, with a lot of games and live casino. In line with its philosophy of rendering optimal services to the consumers, the betting company says it is collaborating with Nigeria's famous music artist Davido to add value to its customers.
We have standard, which is international. We are one of the biggest in the world, and so when we do business, we have that behind our mind, that we must comply with international best standards, and that is one. 2, we are very passionate about our brand because we have millions in our audience and we cannot afford to fail them.
Famous Nigerian music artist Davido says he would use his creativity to promote the brand activities and bring it closer to his fans.
I have a lot of friends and family that use this app, and any app that gives Nigerians the opportunity to make more, to take care of themselves, and it's also fun. So we're going to be sitting down and discussing some new activities and new options for the app, itself, with my fans as well. It's just going to be amazing. So just expect a lot of activities, fun. Obviously, what I do, I'm a musician, so obviously music, and then just teaching my fans how to play. You can use the bonus code Davido1 and play and win a lot of money.
1xBet offers high odds, fast payouts, great bonus, and best choices on virtual games. It remains one of the largest bookmakers in the world and also an official partner of some major sporting events in the world. In Lagos, Samuel Johnson, NTA News.
This is NTA Network News. More reports when we return. Please stay.
You clean your teeth every morning, but that fresh breath feeling just doesn't last. The answer? Easy. You keep your teeth strong and healthy and give your mouth long-lasting fresh breath with new Oral-B 2-in-1 toothpaste. It helps strengthen your teeth and gives you long-lasting fresh breath.
So fresh, still fresh, and still fresh.
Stay strong, stay fresh. New Oral-B toothpaste for strong teeth and long-lasting fresh breath.
Kehinde suffers from indigestion. His twin Taiyi suffers from heartburn. Sometimes it's the other way around, or both. That's why they use Gaviscon Double Action. It soothes within 3 minutes and lasts for up to 4 hours. For double relief from heartburn and indigestion, Gaviscon Double Action.
It is very important for us to tell our stories so that our people will know their history. Now, for make our people to get their mindset shaped for the right way.
Now, our Tori be this for the best original Naija dramas, telenovelas, and sports. Get your GoTV decoder, GoTenna, and 1 month GoTV Max subscription for only 9,500 naira. Download my GoTV app to manage your account and enjoy better entertainment. GoTV, love it.
My name is Chikwe Ihekwazu. I lead the Nigeria Center for Disease Control. I'm extremely privileged to have gotten this vaccine today. Really, I accept it really on behalf of all the healthcare workers, public health workers that have really spent the last 12 months working so incredibly hard on this response. And I think it provides hope. This vaccine really provides us an opportunity to reinvigorate ourselves as we sustain the response in Nigeria. So this vaccine provides us a real shot at life. But, that shot will come into effect when we have most of the population vaccinated. We have to keep washing our hands, wearing our masks, keeping apart from each other until we have enough people vaccinated in the country. And I'm sure we'll get there.
Sheffield United only have their pride to play for when Crystal Palace visit this Saturday. On the Premier League Live, it's Sheffield United versus Crystal Palace, showing on the network service of the NTA from 2:30 p.m. The Premier League Live is brought to you by Baba Ijebu in association with Gold.com.
We're back in Abuja now. President Muhammadu Buhari says Nigeria is ready to push higher the existing cordial relations between it and the Republic of Guinea-Bissau so as to align them with the strategic and economic priorities of the two countries. The president stated this Thursday after receiving in audience his Guinea-Bissau counterpart, Umaru Sissoko Embalo. State House correspondent Adam Musambu has the report.
This is the 7th time President Umaru Sissoko Embalo is coming to Nigeria since coming to power in January last year. President Muhammadu Buhari described the relationship between the two countries as well as their leaders as robust and stable. He commended President Umaru Embalo, whom he described as a brother, true friend of Nigeria, and a visionary leader for his efforts at meeting the aspirations of his people. Nigeria played a significant role in stabilizing the political and security situation in Guinea-Bissau, which faced a serious threat of disintegration after disputed elections. For President Umaru Embalo, the government of Guinea-Bissau cannot thank Nigeria enough, saying the trajectory of bilateral relations points to a brighter future for the two countries and the entire West African sub-region.
All this support Nigeria and of course Baba for Guinea-Bissau to stabilize is why today I'm coming here to say Baba, thank you very much for supporting Guinea-Bissau. Today, a lot of people that forget about Guinea-Bissau because we don't have bad reputation all the time in Guinea-Bissau and the news. Thank you again, Baba. Thank you very much.
Guinea-Bissau, which had been on the agenda of ECOWAS summits in the last 20 years, is now on the path to a prosperous future. And as President Embalo says, this is the best moment to visit and say thank you to the Nigerian leader. From the State House, Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
Nigeria's First Lady Aisha Muhammadu Buhari has emphasized the need for Muslim Ummah to use the period of Ramadan to intensify prayers for peace, unity and development of the country. The First Lady stated this in a message during the distribution of food items to representatives of various religious women's groups in the country. State House correspondent Aliu Kabir reports.
Distribution of food items and other palliatives to the less privileged Nigerians, especially women and children, is part of the usual gesture of the First Lady of Nigeria, Aisha Muhammadu Buhari, through the Future Assured program. This time, Future Assured has extended the gesture to different religious groups in Abuja, comprising women in Dawa, Women Wing of Christian Association of Nigeria, the Women Wing of Nasrullah Fatai Society of Nigeria, NASFAT, and many other women associations. The essence was to support women and their children in making life meaningful and to continue to observe Ramadan fast with ease. The Special Assistant to the President on African First Lady's Peace Mission, Mairo Al-Makura, stood in for the First Lady at the distribution.
Her Excellency Dr. Mrs. Aisha Muhammadu Buhari, in her own wisdom, does this every time there's any celebration in the country. So this is just one of it. We're in the Ramadan period and she feels it's very necessary to help the less privileged in the society through various NGOs, and she does it to cushion the effects of the less privileged. At least it will go a long way in giving them some succor.
This is not the first time she's doing it. She has been doing it for long, and we really appreciate her. And we pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will continue to keep her in good health.
Some people, they have these things, but they cannot be able to give out. But she knows that all the people in this nation, it's not all of us that can be able to cope. But she said, remember us, everybody for good.
More groups are expected to benefit from similar exercise. In Abuja, Aliu Kabir, NTA News.
And the Minister of Women Affairs, Dame Pauline Talon, has challenged Nigerian women to remain focused on goals that uplift their corporate, social, economic status and improve their contributions to national development. This was her message to Nigerian women when she flagged off the distribution of palliatives to 21 women's groups in the FCT as part of efforts to alleviate their plight.
As the federal government intensifies efforts to bring to a halt activities of criminal elements threatening national peace, it is not letting its guard down while providing protection and succor to the most hit, which are women and children. It is in this light that the Minister of Women Affairs, Dame Pauline Talon, calls on women to seize the period of this holy month of Ramadan to offer sincere prayers to God for the nation in order to overcome the social challenges confronting the country.
Mothers must rise up in prayer. The security situation that we are facing in Nigeria today is a serious matter of concern, and only prayers can stem the tide. When women cry out to God, something must happen.
Almighty Allah accept prayer from all his people, and both men and women should pray for Nigeria. Prayer is key, and prayer is the answer.
We have a lot of problems with this insecurity, and when we pray, God will answer.
Mrs. Stalin, who flagged off the distribution of palliatives, says the gesture is to ease the burden on vulnerable women in the FCT as they prepare for the Eid al-Fitr celebration. Beneficiaries advocate the inclusion of women in protection plans in order to curb increasing rates of gender-based violence.
The Nigerian Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs, under the leadership of Sultan of Sokoto, His Eminence Alhaji Muhammad Sa'ad Abubakar, is deeply saddened by the heightened degree of insecurity in the country. In a statement by the Deputy Secretary General, Professor Salisu Shehu, the Council enjoins governments at all levels to redouble efforts at protecting the citizens and citizens to be vigilant of their security. The NSCIA also enjoins Muslims to use the last 10 days of the Ramadan fast to be generous to the poor and pray for Allah to grant succor to the challenges facing the nation. Let's now join Chineye in our Enugu Center for more reports from that zone. Chineye.
Many thanks, Cyril. Good evening and welcome to Enugu. The Minister of Foreign Affairs, Geoffrey Onyama, has reiterated the present administration's commitment to the upliftment of the standard of education in the country. The minister stated this during the flag-off and distribution of educational materials to some schools in Enugu State. Chidi Okorafo reports.
The Minister of Foreign Affairs flagged off the distribution of educational materials in his AK hometown in partnership with a technology company. Items distributed to the school children include chairs, desks, school bags, textbooks, exercise books, as well as monetary donations to hire more teachers. While noting the importance of education in the society, the minister charged the school children to take their studies seriously, adding that education is a basic necessity in the present competitive world. Mr. Onyama, who pledged his continuous support, said the exercise will be done in 3 schools in each local government area of the state and commended the teachers and partners for their commitment.
Study, study, study. And you will not regret it because later on, then you have all the time to play, but most importantly, you will have the opportunity to be anything you want to be in this life.
We're committed to cultivating local talents. We believe that if we can secure quality education for our youth, a bright future is secured for Nigeria.
Central School, AK, St. Paul's Nursery and Primary School, St. Paul's College, Okwando Primary School, all in AK, are among the schools that benefited in Enugu. Chidi Okrafo, NTA News.
The Enugu State government has inaugurated the State Steering Committee on Gender-Based Violence. Inaugurating the committee at the Government House, Deputy Governor Cecilia Ezilo noted that the society must adopt measures to check immoral behaviors against the female gender. Susan Eze has the report.
Quoting the former First Lady of the United States, Michelle Obama, Deputy Governor stated that the measure of any society is how it treats its women and girls. Activities of this steering committee, which will collaborate with the Tamas Sexual Assault Referral Center, Tamasac, she said, will add impetus to government's efforts towards the protection of everyone against sexual assaults, particularly the female gender.
The committee must work very hard in order to consent gender-based violence to the dustbin of history in our state, pursuant to the operational policy trust of the State Tamas Sexual Assault Referral Center, Tamasac, the strategy of the United Nations Children's Fund, and the goals of the Child Rights Act.
The team, chaired by the State Commissioner for Gender Affairs and Social Development, expressed their readiness to carry out the task with dedication and commitment to duty.
We promise that we are going to serve, we are going to deal with the
the types of reference given to us, we are not going to disappoint the government of Enugu State.
More awareness. Most things happen and they hide. They don't want to come to the fore. They don't want to bring it up. They should be able to open up and let the journalists know about it.
The 26-member committee are drawn from relevant ministries, security agencies, media organizations, traditional and religious bodies. In Enugu, Susan Eze, NTA News.
And those are the stories from Enugu. Cyril is back to you in Abuja. Good evening.
Sheffield United only have their pride to play for when Crystal Palace visit this Saturday. On the Premier League Live is Sheffield United versus Crystal Palace, showing on the network service of the NTA from 2:30 p.m. The Premier League Live is brought to you by Baba Ijebu in association with Gold.com.
Nigerian youths are about the greatest assets the country has at the moment. It is therefore not surprising that the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari is strategically responding to the yearnings of the youth through multiple projects and programs. Youth entrepreneurship support years by Bank of Industry, the Youth Investment Fund by the CBN, and several other conditional cash transfer programs. Recruitment of 774,000 social workers, majority of whom are youths, and so many other projects that are beneficial to youths directly or indirectly. If the administration can do all this, definitely with a degree of patience and time, it can achieve more. Nigerian youths must come together to say no to terrorism, no to vandalism, and no to all disruptive tendencies. Hashtag Youth for Greater Nigeria. Pacifying the youths, unifying the nation.
Right, the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation and key players have committed to the timely completion of the rehabilitation of the Port Harcourt refinery. Expressing optimism at the hybrid technical rehabilitation kickoff, the Chief Financial Officer of the NNPC, Umar Ajia, also pledged speedy release of funds. Lydia Sampson reports.
The technical kickoff, performed in line with the COVID-19 protocols, had both physical and virtual participation, both from within and outside Nigeria. This also kickstarts the mobilization of contractors and all key players to site. Omar Jia, who joined virtually, did not mince words in reiterating that this time things must be done differently.
It is the highest expectation of Nigerians that they see their refineries up and running, in spite of the fact that one giant refinery is upcoming. But these are the refineries that belong to Nigeria and Nigerians. And that is what is of paramount importance to them.
Masu Albatu, Technimont Project Director, who joined virtually from Milan, gave an insight into the project and promised to deploy all due professionalism to the completion of the rehabilitation to provide solutions so desired by all Nigerians. From Port Harcourt, Lydia Sampson, NTA News.
The federal government and the Central Bank of Nigeria say they will not succumb to pressure to lift the ban on maize importation. This is coming as the government unveils what it describes as the first maize pyramids in Nigeria. Musa Baba Ali reports that the pyramids were staged in Katsina State.
These are 50,000 bags of maize on display, produced under the 2020 wet season farming activities. They are arranged in 9 pyramids, depicting the strength of the country in maize production. The producers were supported by the Central Bank of Nigeria under its Anchor Borrowers program.
We recognize and hail the CBN governor for injecting 50 billion into commodity exchange market, which for sure shall help in stabilizing the system.
Figures released by the Apex Bank's governor, Godwin Emefiele, indicate that the country is now producing more than 20 million tons of maize, while the national demand stands at 17 to 18 million tons annually.
Any attempt by anyone to import maize into Nigeria will continue to be frustrated by the Central Bank of Nigeria. So I will encourage our youth to take the opportunity offered by the CBN governor in financing agriculture
Governor Atiku Abubakar Bagudu, who represented President Muhammadu Buhari, says all the 36 states and the FCT are beneficiaries of the Presidential Agricultural Intervention Programs.
Mr. President has put his faith in Nigeria and the Nigerian people. He believes that Nigeria can produce what it eats and eat what it produces and sell some of it to the world and actually compete with the world.
We are also grateful to the Central Bank of Nigeria under the leadership of Mr. Godwin Emefiele,
The governors of the benefiting states alongside stakeholders at the ceremony passed a vote of confidence on the Anchor Brewers program under the supervision of the Central Bank Governor, Godwin Emefiele. In Katsina, Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
President Muhammadu Buhari felicitates with journalist and fervent Buharist Abuchi Anwe as he clocks 60 on May 6, 2021. In a statement by Special Advisor to the President on Media and Publicity, Femi Adesina, the President salutes the staying power of Anwe, a long-time supporter who has weathered all storms to stand by his convictions. President Buhari rejoices with the media fraternity, the Anwe family, friends and associates on the milestone occasion, wishing the journalist good health and length of days to continue serving his community and the country. And President Buhari has extended his deepest sympathies to the family of Pastor Enoch Adeboye, the General Overseer of the Redeemed Christian Church of God, RCCG, on the passing of his son, Pastor Dari Adeboye. In a statement by Special Advisor to the President, Media and Publicity, Femi Adesina, President Buhari urges the family to find comfort in the teachings of the Holy Scriptures, that those who have chosen to serve God faithfully will see him as he is in eternity. The President prays God Almighty to grant the departed rest in his everlasting kingdom and comfort the grieving family, friends and associates of the departed. And the death has been announced of Elder Sister Janet Oluremi Ajoke Anoda, ne Shubayo. A statement by the family indicates that the burial rites of Mrs. Anoda, who died last month at the age of 87, will begin on Thursday with Christian wake, while the funeral service will follow on Friday, May 7th at Christ Gospel Witness Church, Abuja, at 11 a.m. Interment will follow immediately at the church cemetery in Abuja. She is survived by 4 children, among who are Mr. Kendi Anoda, the chief accountant, NTA Abuja, grandchildren and great-grandchildren. And, well, that's just about it on Network News tonight. Just a quick reminder of the UEFA Europa League final, Manchester United versus Villarreal. And that is just about on now, and it's far gone in the match. The final is going to be on the 26th of May. That is because Manchester United have qualified for the final, beating AC Roma. That's Network News tonight. Remember to stand with the NTA against rape and rapists. I'm Cyril Stober. Good night.